That's the type of questions I wanted to find out about from the commanders. Are the commanders going to
Yeah.
be there, or is it other representatives?
The Allied commander will be there. The Axis ones will not, as far as I know. I'll DM Weiss, see if he'll hop
You
on.
got Crop as he's turned up.
Yeah, he's the only Axis one, but not the field marshals. But let me see if
Yeah.
Weiss will show up.
All right, cool.
And then pretty much whenever you're ready to restart your stream, Dio, we can hop up to admin spectate, and
Okay, sounds
yeah.
good.
And if
I've
there's
got another 3 minutes left.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you real quick, then, just so you kind of get some kind of idea of what
Okay.
some things were like. Let me come off push to talk as well.
Okay, yes, I'm familiar with this. This is how the other one is being run as well. The Operation 44. Do you want to do this in the spectate channel when the stream starts? It's because it's really cool, and here's the thing: like on our Operation 44, I know they're doing this, and nobody gets to see it because it'll reveal strategies and shit, you know. And this is part of probably the coolest part of the entire campaign, and nobody gets to see it. So I think it would be cool to go over it. I do have it. I've never really tried it before. I'm not actually a part of the leadership group, so I just know they're doing it. And like Whitman has shared it with me every, once in a while. Yeah, yeah. I don't. How does it work in a way where I could share, like I could give you host access to or whatever? Okay, let me. Got it.
I think you got to accept his friend request first. I mean, I was watching you struggle along there, but I thought that's something I should help.
All lowercase. Hold on, can you send me that link again? Because I think I put the wrong password. You said AES? Oh,
Allied
fuck.
Expeditionary Force.
All right, there we go. How do I give you hosting access? Oh, perfect. Okay, let me restart the stream. Sounds good. Okay. Let's do it.
Hello. Well, hi.
Congratulations. All right, first of all, I want to say, you guys, I'm super impressed by how you guys put all of this shit together. It's amazing. And I'm really excited about the Operation 44 one too. I'm really sad I wasn't here for the beginning of everything, but it's really cool to finally talk to the leadership group. I've been wanting to do these types of interviews after each of the matches just to get a feel of how you guys thought things went. I don't think I've spoken with you yet, Sarge.
Oh, howdy there.
Howdy, howdy. I guess since you're here, maybe I guess I would start with you, if you don't mind.
For sure. Am
I
I
wanted
allowed to swear?
on my stream, you're allowed to swear for sure.
Perfect.
Okay, go for it, homie.
What do you
okay,
want to ask?
so basically, I wanted to see. Okay, in the beginning, it might be cool, actually, Burn, if you wanted to go over the history of how this went. But I kind of wanted to know how you go about coming up with a strategy without knowing what the fuck the other guys are gonna throw at you, knowing that there's 2020 hindsight, and this is not gonna be following exactly a historical pattern. People have seen the movie; they know how things went originally, and so you know they're gonna change the way they do things. How the fuck you come up with something, and then do you do a plan A and plan B kind of thing? That's all I wanted to know at the beginning.
Well, when we started the campaign and we put our command team together, which was basically the leaders of the respective divisions, all came together. Um, we wanted to role play some sort of chain of command. So, really, my job was to make sure logistics is figured out, which divisions are kind of going to be in charge of which places. But the battles themselves were usually up to the divisional commanders. So that's what I think we all liked is it gave a lot more different people a chance to shine,
For
right? Some
sure.
battles were really well thought out, some were less, and you can see you could see the effects towards the end of the campaign. But what's amazing to me is, and I don't know the stats yet, and I can't wait to hear them, Burn, how close everything was. But I even the last day, uh, so many things had to go right in all of our planning, all of our battles, everything for it to come this close to, who the victor is.
How excited were you when you saw that your side had made it to the other side of the river for a while?
I was watching. I was stress eating. I was drinking. I was very happy. They definitely gave it a good try. But I mean, in the end, it was a very very difficult thing to ask
For
to
sure.
cross that bridge.
Do you have a background in strategy in it at all, or is it just from playing games is what you wanted to try?
Uh, I do not have a background in strategy. I think we're all just enthusiasts. My background in strategy is probably Crescent Sickle. He is. I defer to him a lot
Nice.
because it comes very natural to him. And thank God he was a member of the command team, because I think, Crescent, we spent a lot of late nights trying to figure out what to do next, didn't we?
That's true. That's true.
And luckily, we were able to give the divisional commanders a lot of direction if they wanted it, to make these battles more successful.
Love it. Yeah. So basically, you're playing Axis and Allies, and you're
Yeah.
rolling the dice, and then the divisional commanders are the dice results. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. How about from the Axis side? You said we had a Crop here.
Yep.
Wise. What's up, dude?
I'm walking tall today, boys. Walking really tall.
Congratulations, my friend.
go!
Congratulations, Weiss. that was absolutely formidable. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. I don't know if you heard the question from before, but and it's a shame that well, okay, wait, tell me, who's really, when you guys are doing it on the Axis side, is there somebody that's the head honcho making all the decisions, or are you guys more like a triumvirate?
Triumvirate. No, which I heard from through the grapevine that the Allies have a great command system set up with the hierarchy, which is awesome. We don't have that. It's myself, Tonka from the 363, Krupp from the IR9. I think that's pretty much it. Just the three of us get together, and we usually bring Burn in to discuss, just to facilitate the meeting. But yeah, it's just the three of
All
us.
right, cool. I mean, I was curious about that because it always blows my mind, even on public games, when someone's commander, I'm like, oh, in my brain, I'm like, oh, he's coming up with a plan. I know it's just some guy that's like, I'm going to pick this weapon and drop bombs. But you guys are doing it on a day-to-day basis with consequences. So for example, right now at the end of this one, you didn't know what was going to happen. You've had all these decisions that have already been made in the past that leads up to this point right here. How do you tell? Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna re-ask the same question. It just impresses me so much how you guys put together a plan and then do your best to stick to it. When shit
Yeah.
goes bad in the middle of the battle, do you guys have all right, let's switch it up type of thing, or is it just let's try again?
Talking to me specifically, or all of us?
For whoever wants to speak up.
All right. Yeah. I mean, for us, we prepare. The level of preparation that we do, I think, exceeds any other unit. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but typically our training there's a week in between each battle, right? So we use that week. So a week before the battle, I have the entire plan, whether it be the attack plan or the defensive plan, down to the minute detail planned out. And then for that day of training for us, because our trainings are on Sundays, we run through. We either bring an op 4 and we have them play as the allies, and we run through the exact attack
Interesting.
plan or the defensive plan. I can show you some pictures of what our Mortarman does. I mean, he prints out maps. He's got all his presets. I mean, so we have hours and hours. The whole week, our Discord is just the discussion about the battle. We
How
have a
often?
pub.
How often do you think that the battle goes as according to plan?
Rarely.
Yeah,
Rarely.
exactly.
This one did, because just the
Do
way.
you mean
that we had
Nijmegen or Arnhem?
Arnhem? I think
Okay.
Arnhem did. I mean, maybe the Allies. I mean, I don't know what the Allies' plan was, but anyways.
We were kind of funneled no matter what we could do, just due to the shape of the sectors. So yeah,
Yep.
I imagine that it largely went.
It
to
was
plan.
survive, Weiss. To survive.
Yeah, I mean, we
Fine.
had each tank on either road to funnel you towards the buildings, and the buildings we had completely barbed wired and sandbagged up, really, really well. Which it seemed like you guys had difficulty getting through all that bullshit that we put up. No.
I mean, we were able to push through and clear it a few times, but yeah, that we definitely did get stopped up there for a decent amount of time each time we went in.
I sat in a server for it must have been 6 hours total for the whole week, figuring out what
Jesus.
supplies I can use, the best way to block the doorways. Probably overkill, but a lot of time went into it.
You gotta love doing what you're doing if you're gonna do that. I'm sure it was a good time spent.
I just like winning.
For sure, homie. I wanted to ask about like key moments or shit that was like, no, I can't believe that went that way. That's what caused this whole thing to change. But I think that we'll go through those if you want to do like a recap of everything. Yeah, I'm very familiar with them. I do, but I want. Okay, yeah, we could do it. I'm very familiar with those guys. I've covered a couple of your battles. It's exciting to watch you guys play. I'm telling you, like, this is fun for me. I love covering you guys. Scott fucking scooting around in his tank constantly around all those battles was intense. Actually, no. You know what, Burn? Let's do the recap, and then we'll ask more questions after. Yeah, we don't need to go over how it works. Just like how it went.
We could talk about what the Allies plan to do initially and what the Axis plan to do initially. I mean, Burn, you know, but I don't know if you'd rather us do that or if you'd rather cover it all because you do also have a record of that.
How it went.
Not even that. It mirrored real life. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it. Yeah, go ahead.
For sure.
Wow. That was the first battle? I remember the first battle, and they capped one sector? That was it? Yeah, this is so long ago now, I forget. But I remember that first battle was Arnhem. I remember it was close. Yeah.
Oh, we felt that, and that hangs. And we took 7 of them.
A quick point on that as well. You destroyed one of our fireflies, which really impacted us actually for the rest of the campaign because we were always very conservative with our fireflies in contrast to all the other tanks that we had. So
That's
and also
a pleasure to hear.
and also I got a lot of shit for that for like a whole year. So you know,
Fucking deservedly so, I might add.
Well, the rest of the battles didn't go as that well for us on Vegas, so at least the first one did.
Yeah, we've had some interesting battles on Vagel. I remember the Sherman Arty as well.
I remember that.
When we fought with like 38 men on the clock against the whole 30 core, yeah, that was impressive. We had like 30 guys left or so.
That happened twice.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, like, for sure. Going through this like walk down memory lane, is there anything that is specific to the commanders, I guess, that you're like, no, that's not how this should have gone, and you still remember it from now?
The grave battle is the only one that I really remember that Burn didn't go over. But Burn, you want to touch on that one? When we didn't have enough fuel to retreat and we had to fucking surrender to these motherfuckers.
Oh, I remember that. Oh man, I remember that.
We spent weeks. I didn't come online for a whole entire week. After we lost that battle, I was like, honestly, it was like devastating.
Prior to that battle, we had lost the 101st Airborne Division in 9 Megan when either the 9SS or 10SS went in. I forget what we last thought it was in intel on our side. But we lost that and we were all just kind of like,
You
that's
were
the
feeling what you
campaign.
were feeling.
Like it's basically over. That's the campaign. 30 Corps got to fight through one or two SS Panzer divisions to try to get to the Paras north of the wall and on the Rhine. And then Grave happens, and that was on our side. That was like the hype moment of like, oh my god, maybe we have this. That Grave battle was absolutely phenomenal on our side at least.
Wire, right?
That's when the Germans lost all their tanks in a night battle, right?
We had no choice to lose all those tanks because we couldn't retreat after that. So it was all or nothing. We got screwed. I got screwed by the rules. I didn't ask Burn until the last minute. So we had to expend all our resources because at that point it didn't matter. We couldn't retreat. That's
Yes,
why
fight it
you saw
out.
our
Yeah.
tanks. That's why you saw our tanks do a lot of crazy, stupid shit because we had no choice.
Makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
I believe, Burn, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but because of some tomfoolery from our commander, we almost lost that match as well. Because he called in some mosquitoes that were allegedly available.
The RAF was just on a recon patrol. That's all it was, I swear.
Absolutely. You should have heard our command chat explode when he
Yeah.
said, I'm just calling in another one. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And that almost cost us.
There's before you explain, there's a great meme. I'll post that as well. There's a really good meme explaining my thought process. I'll send it to you.
Yes.
Well, that's what matters.
I'll put them.
There's a lot of
I'll
them.
put them all in campaign discussion. Yeah.
I have one relevant to the battle we just discussed that was
And-
posted at the time.
So the propaganda war was won by the Allies?
So it seems. So does everybody get access to the other team's channels now? All right.
Well, most likely not.
For the next battles, yeah, you don't want to give away too many strategies.
We still want to be friends.
I
Fair
imagine both
enough.
sides are a little bit upset.
Wow.
Where's some tough battles in it, you know?
Everybody going back and deleting everything.
You cannot. Oh yeah. Let's start deleting the messages though.
That's great. That's cool. But you should have like a history book of memes. Scott, I just want to know, Scott, do you feel when my camera is watching you in your tank, rolling around and just barely getting missed by huge fucking shells coming your way and somehow beating the bigger tank?
Yeah, something like that.
You do feel it. I'm sure you feel it because it
No,
seems like it's always fucking you.
He just giggles his way out of any crazy
Yeah,
situation.
he's like fucking. He's a Bugs Bunny character, honestly.
Everyone else is screaming and shouting. I'm just giggling across Nijmegen Bridge.
Good shit, dude. All right, is that all of the?
All right, let's talk munitions, because what were the differences between the Allied munitions that were purchasable and the Axis? This is something that I've been wondering about. Other
Nice.
Yeah, the
Here,
Thank you
here.
very much, guys.
admins had a very thankless task, and I feel that they executed it fairly. Um, there were times when there were miscommunications in the rules between what the admins intended and what the units may have understood. But I don't have any complaints with the admins and what they did. I think they did overall a phenomenal job. And having to volunteer to just constantly hear everyone complaining when things might not go their way is much appreciated to them that volunteered to do that. Um, I was gonna say we should at some point probably go over the I don't know if it should be now before we get into kind of the details you're talking about or after, but I think the initial setup between both teams so that like the perspective of like here's our game plan
Yes, I'd like
and
to do
then
that.
and then how that plays out. I don't know if we want to do that before or after we kind of talk about the differences in the forces.
Okay. Yes.
Holy.
It was one entire division. So it's however many regiments make up that division is what you can deploy, but you can only deploy one single division at a time. Salute salute to the 6 guards who did that on day 1 for the Polish
That was
while the rest of the NA
mortar
clan
spam city is what that was. I remember it.
We've got a fantastic clip of that game. I'll put it in the chat.
Ooh, I'm so excited to see
Yeah,
this.
love it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think we did. No, he's not. He was the one who really. I didn't have much to much say in this, or I didn't really want to be honest. So maybe Zexa could talk. I don't know, or Braun. I forget. I think we wanted to keep the SS Panzer divisions in reserve, so I don't think we deployed them. Maybe there was one at Nijmegen, Burn. Is that right? Maybe the 10th SS at Nijmegen. Oh, the Reichswald. That's right. Yeah.
Mm.
That's Conf Group of Ice right there.
Mm.
Yeah, I know we kept the Panzer divisions in reserve. I know we stacked up any units that had flak or pack ability down towards Vagel and Velmoen. We wanted to reserve all our tanks for as long as we could. So we didn't want to burn through tanks at Vagel and Velmoen. We figured we just get rid of our pack guns. And the R9 did a really good job knocking out a lot of tanks, I think, right? Just with the flak and pack that they had. Yeah.
That was 7 tanks at Wegler the first match.
Yeah, which is insane. So yeah, it was to in layman's terms, weaken them as much as we can with the pack and flak that we have, and then when the metal meets the meat further north, then we can start getting our tanks in the fray.
Ah.
Yeah, so we were moving to Grav, and in the interim, the Allies crossed the bridge. Right, that's the battle that we talked about, right, Bern? Yeah.
So the idea was to like hold your panzers in reserve, but like you guys kind of knew they were going to take the first 2 cities.
We just knew that they had so many tanks that they were going to get through Vagelville
Got it.
no
Yeah.
matter what. So
So absorb it.
burn through whatever other means we have, and then we can start dipping into our tanks because we didn't have as many as them.
Mm.
That much I knew.
I would like to say that the combined arms effort on that Graf battle, like there's streams of the 6GA performing that assault, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would concur on that. When we saw, that was one of the few early streams I think that we saw, and we just the coordination of 6GA, like tanks covering each other. I think you
Yeah.
even had a Churchill doing its job as being an infantry support tank, like as a wall for infantry, which you'd never see in post because no one really likes the Churchill. That was impressive to see, like, the full coordination of an entire platoon in one clan kind of coming together.
Yeah, I think for our part as the 30 core in this campaign, we kind of learned a lot from the initial assault on Vagel, where we did lose quite a lot of tanks, and that was kind of a trial by fire for us. And we very much refined our combined arms strategy from then on. And I think, yeah, Krav was a pretty good example of that. So, yeah, glad that paid off. And I know Scott repairing the Churchill and being an absolute madman in the Stuart as well against the 88.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yeah, I went ballistic.
I
instantly.
assumed as much. It was a bit ridiculous, yes. No, I agree.
Do you want me to cover it, Sarge, or do you want to? At least for the paras.
We'll cover it together.
Okay.
But feel free to kick it off. I'll pop in as I remember things. It was so long ago.
So who was Sarge in this campaign? Was he Browning? Was he Monty? Or was he somebody? He was
put in
Eisenhower.
a position that he didn't originally know he was going to be put in, but took the reins anyways. We originally had a different field marshal, but again, life took over, and I was the next in line, so I had to take up the reins on it, and tried my best to. The most important thing for the majority of the allies was role play, which I was super excited for because that's when we set up our chain of command and stuff like that. So my position ended up as field marshal. And Weiss, I got to say, when I heard that you were taking a bigger command role on the Axis, Crescent can be my witness. I was excited. Not that people before were not doing a good job. It's just I understand that you have a extreme passion for strategy and winning. So I was excited that we were going to have that challenge. So
Yeah, I'm 0 to 100. So if I'm doing it, it's gonna be 0. It's gonna be 1,000% effort from everybody.
And I knew that from you. So I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah. So okay. So you were in charge. That's cool. So how did this work, Sarge? Walk us through it.
Well, again, it was very long ago. Crescent, help me with this.
So 30 cores path is kind of obvious, right? There's not a lot of flexibility there. You start at 30 core staging and you're just trucking through as hard and as fast as you can. So the kind of creative solutions that we could do to start us off were really in what are we going to do with airborne? And so we were talking about, do we deploy everybody? Do we deploy only some people and kind of have some things in reserve? And ultimately, what we decided on was we recognized that Nijmegen was the linchpin. And then we decided between Arnhem and Driel that Arnhem is going to be the one that would probably be a little bit easier for us to take because Driel is like so wide open and so long. Arnhem is too, but we could land on the north side of the city with a lot more cover and then actually try to take the point, whereas it could be quite difficult on Driel or on Nijmegen to try to capture bridges there. So we wanted 82nd to land at Arnhem. And then we thought, okay, well, we do want to kind of know it's at Oosterbeek. Maybe like we don't know how they deploy stuff. Maybe they have something. Maybe they don't. Maybe we can get territory in Oosterbeek for free, and maybe we can capture a little bit of ground in Oosterbeek to prevent them from being able to attack Arnhem in the north. So we had one regiment out of the 82nd land in Oosterbeek. And then with the Polish, we wanted them to also worry about Driel, and we were thinking of just grabbing the northern sector in Driel. And when we had the northern sector in Driel, we would be cutting off the enemy from being able to move, through Oosterbeek into Driel to reinforce. So we would pocket them at Oosterbeek and Driel from getting to the Rhine River. Driel went way better than expected, and Oosterbeek went very poorly. Maybe with
That was the
retrospect,
first battle, right, of the entire campaign,
I
right?
think
The
the
Oosterbeek.
Oosterbeek one might have been the actual.
I remember.
Oh.
The pair
We,
dropped.
we fight with just conscripts, I guess, again in the dark against American paratroopers. That was hilarious.
There was actually
right.
Yeah. So they basically had nothing.
Yeah, there was a moment at the end. So we took the first sector and then we called it off because we were just one regiment. We didn't know what we were fighting, but it seemed that we had a lot more resistance than we thought. And our concern in the first day between all of the battles for the pairs was conserving manpower. And it was just like, do we try to keep it going or do we call it off?
Right.
And we ended up calling it off. But there was somebody on the Axis side that said in all chat, really? And then we all just collectively went, fuck.
Yeah, damn it. Should have pushed them. But
Um,
they were pretty nervous anyways because they were all
Yeah,
out
it
there alone.
Well,
yeah,
what did they have there?
Well, we were up against that police school, but we only had one regiment in Oosterbeek, only as testing the waters. So if there was anything significant that decided they wanted to erase them, we did have the option of I think retreating, but we didn't want to take that chance so early on in the campaign, as Crescent said, since our objective at first was to preserve manpower because of how long we had to hold out to link up with 30 Corps, which I think, Crescent, was a great idea because look at how far it got us.
it's
to the end,
true.
last
We
day.
still have regiments alive. I mean, they're going to be captured now, but unless we can, get the Canadian engineers to bail them out like in real life.
Hopefully they don't do to our prisoners what we did to their prisoners in Arnhem.
We don't talk about that, Sarge.
I don't know. Inquiring minds would like to know what's going on here.
You're gonna have to ask Kurtz for what he did with them.
Yeah, you'll have to ask Kirch and the 193rd. They were mostly in charge. Actually, Partisans too. Partisans had a bit of a hand in that. So we dropped in southern Oosterbeek and in northern Driel because those two sectors linked up with each other. So it was I in Oosterbeek and it was C in Driel. And we figured that between the two, if shit went wrong, like the unit in Driel could move north. Worst case scenario, the unit in Oosterbeek could move south and they could consolidate. And that is exactly what ended up happening. We ended up taking the bridge in Driel, succeeded beyond anything we expected. And then the regiment, we were so spooked at Oosterbeek, we moved the regiment from Oosterbeek down into Driel to consolidate. And so yeah, that was our plan. We wanted a buffer in Oosterbeek and we wanted a buffer in Driel to prevent any armor from getting to Nijmegen, while the 82nd focuses on taking Arnhem. Meanwhile, we dropped the entire 101st Airborne Division on the first night directly into Nijmegen because that was the linchpin. And we kept the 1st Airborne in reserve specifically because we thought that it would be easier to paradrop on the north side and take a bridgehead than it would be to try to force paratrooper infantry across those long ass bridges to try to take the objectives. So that was our plan for the first day: is try to secure Arnhem Bridge, do what we can to prevent the enemy from reinforcing the north side of Nijmegen, and take Nijmegen with 101st to open the way for 1st Airborne to take the north side.
Yeah, as we can see, going across, I think we all definitely knew in the very beginning going across that bridge was going to be the most significant challenge of the campaign. So I'm really proud that we had that strategy such early on instead of realizing it later with the paratroopers, I should say, that it would be way easier to pair drop on the other side and try and take it that way.
Okay.
That's at least day one for the Allies.
I do have a quick question for Byrne. I don't know if you remember, Byrne, but right at the very start of the campaign, Mr. Eldar here spent probably the better part of
Too
like 3
much
or 4
time.
days going through every document possible on Operation Market Garden and creating a whole intel ledger for every single Axis unit that the Germans had in OMG. How accurate was that?
Oh.
It took him ages sifting through documents and videos and all sorts of things. So I'm very intrigued to know how they actually tie up and if they were accurate at all. I don't know if you remember that, Sergeant Crescent, but we had that whole thing.
I do, because you added all the pieces to the Allied map, and I was like, oh my God, is this really what we're up against?
Mm-hmm.
I have it if we wanted to take a look, but I mean,
nice. Just a little thing. I was just intrigued to see how actually accurate it was compared to what the Axis actually had, because
yeah, let's do a side by side.
Spent a little while on that.
We can take a. Yeah, because Elder, you put together not only on the board but a list, right?
Something like that. Yeah. It was basically just trying to come up with like a comparative Axis roster to kind of figure out what they might have available.
Right.
That was like just so that we could help identify units when we came across them and kind of place them on the board.
Right.
Funny, Axis did the same thing.
No way.
Nice.
That's amazing. Yeah, Elder, over here I have everything that you added to the board. Although things got so crazy, we didn't actually end up adding them where we thought they were. We rather kept those on Intel boards over here. But yeah, this is just massive amount of work you did. But we'll have to. This could probably. You do want to do that? Okay. All right, let's start. Yeah. No. Okay. He
just equipment.
Just equipment.
Like attachments. So like
yeah,
it's got 2 Logi, RT
AT
guns.
2. Yep.
Ooh. So based on that, then the rest of it probably is quite accurate.
Probably close.
It'd be interesting to see the German one they did for the Allies as well. Yeah, like Byrne, because you've been able to see like intel for both sides. Like we've both been guessing what each each side has had. Like, what?
Do you have an SS one? Try it. Did we put them on Nijmegen? They might be behind you.
Yeah, what do we got?
I don't know if they'd be there.
We
or
didn't put them on
actual
the
map
board
itself.
because it was almost impossible for us to tell exactly. Besides, like what Byrne would, the trickle feed he would give us with the BBC and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought you had some Panzer.
Are they
Yeah,
not? Are they not behind
the
you in
SS
Nijmegen
tanks that you're just hovering over.
or not?
Would you say, Crescent?
Oh,
The
sorry.
SS units were the tanks you're just hovering over. That's 2 SS Panzer Corps right there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so that's Harder, Hummel, Abteilung 506, and Knost.
Oh yeah. Also worth pointing out that the armor overhaul came in the middle of this campaign, and that
Oh,
really threw a spanner in the works of like assessing what German tanks were where.
I'm sure.
We're in. That's one other point on that. That really threw us off halfway through the campaign because we were able to identify most of what they had, and then all of a sudden there were tons of Panthers coming at us, and we were like, "Well, are these supposed to be Jagdpanzers, or are these supposed to be Panthers, or what's going on here?" So, same thing with Stugs as well. But yeah.
So, of the Panzer divisions that were deployed, Byrne, which ones were they? We had 9th SS, right? Gotcha. Okay.
And a bunch of French stuff in the training schools.
Mm. Oh, wow.
I think 8, and we even used them.
Something else I want to bring up, because we brought up the armor overhaul happened in the middle of this. The engine upgrade to 4.27 happened in the middle of this.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
And there was a one of the memes that we had was and Byrne even made a comment on this, is that my unit Scythe is a relatively smaller unit. We're not modeled after any real life existing World War II or modern or any other time period unit. We just love the game. But when we played, we're very experienced tankers, and so that translates pretty well into doing AT gun work. And so we were like, okay, well, we have experienced gunners, we'll do AT guns, and we started doing really quite well. And then there's a honey, it's time kind of meme, and it was like, honey, it's it's AEF, the Allied Expeditionary Force, saying, hey, honey, it's time to AT gun again, and it's my guys just going, okay. And we did really, really, really well, and then the engine update happened, and then AT guns have been completely cursed since then. I've done everything I can to try to fix it. I don't think there's fixing it unless Breeze at this point does something on his end. But I was really sad to have that happen because we were really proud. And then it was just a stream of games where it's like I was lining up the shot and then my AT gun like flew into a tree. We have videos of that. We have videos of just like towing's fixed now, and it's like awesome. And then towing is fixed for the most part, but for whatever reason, there's just one moment where it's like it's okay, like I can do this. Like the AT gun knows me and then interact with it and tow it, and it just like disappears into nothing. Like you don't even it just unexists, and just wacky shit like that. And it was really sad.
Later, we should actually go through this burn and figure out how close Elder was, but I'm sure we could spend a lot of time on this.
Howard. I was just gonna say, on kind of a similar note, how were the Axis War Diaries? Because we have some.
Claudia Schiffer's gonna show up right now.
Look at that. That is awesome.
Wolfram typed
That
that
is
on
the
his
extra
period
model.
on his period typewriter that he has.
That is awesome.
What?
scan
That's
it in.
amazing.
Looks like corrections.
Get me the fuck out of here.
You're dead anyway. So.
Right.
Twice.
Yeah, it's a good point. But did the static infantry divisions have pack capabilities? Because I think we put them there because they had the most pack capability. Right. I don't think, yeah, if you wanted to use some burner, static infantry to do that, I agree. But if they don't have the pack or the flak, that goes against what we wanted to do. Right. I think that's why. I agree, though. You're right. They had crazy. The loads were kind of crazy for the Fallschirmjäger.
Why don't we take a look at the
Look at this.
I think did we used one on Graph, didn't we, Scott?
I think
We
you
did,
purchased
yes.
it, but it never came into effect.
We never used it, I don't think, because
Ah.
we pushed across the main bridge with the Cromwells.
We were gonna use it in Nijmegen, but
We were going to use boats on Nijmegen, but
Yeah.
we didn't. They couldn't bring them up from the rear of the column, so we had to cross the bridge.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but like speaking of that, I missed it because I wasn't there in the beginning of the campaign. But how did you guys handle the like incorporation of the concept of blowing bridges? Yeah, got it. Okay.
Which is absurd. That's absurd. No, you're thinking of a Sturmzug, but that didn't happen until later, past Market Garden. Yeah. It's okay.
The outcome is null and void. Rematch.
We
And a light mortar in the parachutes as well, per section.
Woo! Go gliders!
I have a question about the gliders. There was no 30 cals. There was no, you guys didn't simulate a weapons platoon and have the machine guns like separate. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. I agree. I agree.
Yes. I can speak on that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's always going to be kids who regurgitate History Channel rhetoric about what they hear, and you know they're ignorant. Yeah, but you're absolutely right.
Wait, are you telling me that the History Channel gets it wrong?
Yeah, what are you implying?
Whoa.
Come on, man. Come on.
No
Ancient
shit.
aliens, dude. That's shit
The
science.
buzz phrases that you hear. But
For
anyways,
the-
Burn, go on. You're right. Yeah.
About this part of it. I had the question about the bridges. Someone was asking about a mortar system that Vice had, and if you could share that.
Yeah, let me show you guys. You guys keep talking. I'll post these as you're going.
Gonna
Well,
spoil
I
it
could
for
say
you. It's just what the 6GA does.
Oh,
What was
Okay.
that? Sorry, I missed that.
Or mortar zoning.
Oh
and,
yeah, I think we
yeah,
have a
sector designation.
similar system. I mean,
Yeah.
we were all a bit upset about the mortar change, but to be fair, we were using World War One creeping barrage tactics, which is not really realistic. So I think, to be fair, that change was probably good, but it kind of shot us in the foot a little bit. But
well,
we have
Burn.
a similar system with sectors anyway.
Yeah, I figured Burn. So supply, like munitions wise, were they equal as well? I know we're going over the supplies, but this was my problem. I knew this was the case. This is why I advocated for the change, because you guys had double or triple the amount of rounds we had. It's foolishness, and that's why I advocated for. I didn't complain this whole campaign, but that was one thing that I stuck my feet into the ground. Yeah, right. Because if they've got more munitions, yeah. But if okay, so did they have more rounds than us? Simple question. Yeah. Okay. So I was wrong. Totally wrong. So what was the basis of the change then? Why did you go along with it? Why did you think, hey, this is a good idea when I advocated for it? I got you. Okay.
Just to interrupt you guys, I have to leave you now. I got a body. But I can't wait to see all the documents posted online again tomorrow, hopefully. So have a nice evening, guys.
All right, man.
Pleasure
Likewise,
having you
Crow.
along. Thanks for coming
All the
by,
best.
Crow.
Have a good one.
Well, I think both the airborne side and 30 core should speak to this because we were fighting different fights at
We can let you
opposite
go
ends
first
of
if
the
you want.
spectrum. Yeah, for us, we knew that we had the element of surprise at first. So because you had designed the campaign like that, so we knew our strength at first would be we were fighting probably under strength divisions. We knew that it would be kind of crazy if we had landed right on a panzer division or something maybe more significant. Which in the beginning we were pretty successful in capturing territory, so that worked well for us. Our weakness, at least for the paratroopers, were by the time the tanks showed up. I mean, we had some options, but ultimately, yeah, I think that was where we thought our greatest weakness was going to be. What about you, Elder and Scott? What do you guys? How was your experience?
I think definitely the Axis, especially on like the initial Vagel game, put up a really solid defense. I think for a lot of the battles that we encountered, or in fact all of them until Nijmegen, obviously had an armor advantage that they didn't have. So being able to put up as solid a defense as they did, like they did on our initial Grav attack in particular, and at Vagel, it just speaks to kind of the team play that they had over there, to be able to inflict those casualties that we suffered, and we had to kind of learn from that. What about you, Scott? He's not there.
No, sorry, I'm
Oh,
just
there goes.
typing in the campaign discussion. No, I mean, at least from a 30 core point of view, we had to push through every single map, and we put so much planning into each map, similar to, I think, Vice, you were saying, like the length of time you were putting in. We were pretty much doing that as well. I think just trying to look at available places we could go, studying the sectors and stuff. So yeah, it was just a huge amount of work from everybody involved. But yeah, we put a lot of work as well into our combined arms, so it's good to see that it paid off for the most part.
Yeah, lots of training throughout the campaign as well, and yeah, the pre-planning for each battle. A lot of time spent among the command staff in the 6GA, coming up with strategies for each battle.
How much
And then
time
some.
did you guys spend talking about how we're going to cross this bridge at Nijmegen?
Too much.
I think we had 4 separate evening discussions last week, and we were assessing the main bridge that we tried to cross today and the railway bridge. Because yeah, we thought there was a chance, we might be able to surprise them if we went on the railway bridge, but that bridge is just too ridiculous. It's just too long and too high up, and it's too small. So we opted again for the main bridge. But yeah, there was many evening discussions and lots of looking at different angles and things. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a character in the movie, right? The bridge is kind of your biggest enemy because like 2 big tanks on the other side could hold up the entire advance.
Yeah, that King Tiger,
Which they
was
did.
the thing that I was up. That was our biggest enemy. But
I think I can
yeah,
safely
no,
say our
it's
biggest
rather-
enemy was time.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely time.
Should we add up all of the command meeting sessions with both GA and Airborne and all of us together? It's
That'd be something.
probably like a month.
That's probably
Yeah.
definitely correct.
Yeah.
Like a game is 2 hours max. You spend like
Oh,
3
7
times that
hours.
just
I-
planning
yeah.
for it.
7-8 hours.
Taking like 3 to 4 hours like midway through the campaign, because I was like, some of the intel we have, like we need to get a grip on like what's actually happening. I started spending like 3 or 4 hours a day just
Yeah.
like reading It Never Snows in September so that I have like the Axis perspective. Like
Jesus.
doing some of Eldar's some of the research Eldar did and going over some similar things and trying to figure out what is happening. And then I've got, you know, I'm going to exaggerate here, but like a 300-page essay on like, actually the unit that was at Grave is this thing, and the one with the Panthers is Panzer Brigade 107, and on day 2 when they moved this here, that was why they were there at day 3, and yeah, it was a lot of time.
You know you have a problem when you have to take a recess during the command meeting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sarge, you had too many cooks in the kitchen, man. It sounds like you should have shut everybody up.
No, that wasn't it at all.
Really?
That nope. The thing was, and eventually we came up with the saying, "Plan for what's probable, not what's possible," because I think it was more over planning than anything. But that was more prevalent in the beginning. I think that's when those really long meetings were, because, and Bernie even commented on this, we had a lot more to plan for. We were starting in a lot of different positions. There was a lot more variables. I mean, it kept us up at night. I mean, we were up at night. Creston and I, for some of the meetings, everyone had gone and we'd be up until 1 or 2 a.m. just making sure we made the right call.
It was mostly me keeping track of what the hell everyone experienced at each battle, and Sarge handling all of the logistics, and then we would be meeting and like discussing things, and then we would have some of the other division commanders come in, and we'd be like, all right guys, here's our pitch for what the plans are, and then we discuss it a little bit. But it was a lot of like me and Sarge doing the hours and hours and hours of meetings, and I'm sure 6GA on their side had them as well. It's not like we had 20 people in a room arguing over every little detail or anything like that.
By the way, I want to get this in before any more time goes on. Scott Elder, I want to thank you guys personally for handling 30 Core so immaculately. That took a huge chip off of our shoulders, because the airborne stuff itself was very, very intense. But it was very nice to know you guys had that fucking handled. So it was great to wake up, have my coffee, go through all the fucking airborne shit, and then know that GA is just going to keep trucking on. Thank you.
Nice.
No worries, pleasure.
Was there like a oh fuck moment when you got instructions from the teams burn where it's like, holy shit, they're doing that and these guys are doing that you could remember? All right.
When was this? Oh, yeah.
The
Wow.
previous Nijmegen.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Ah, Crescent, we knew it. Good call, Crescent. Ah.
Nice. Did you think they were gonna cross that bridge? I mean, like, how about like they lost? They tried to take the northern side of Nijmegen twice. You said after that, that had to have been the greatest obstacle, right? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
On the north side, you mean? We couldn't because we had a maximum of 6 possible regiments, so we could only send 2. We would have sent 3 if you'd let us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first drop was so bad that nobody wanted to do the second drop, and it was like we really need to do the second drop though.
That was a tough night for me because I knew I was going to have to ask the impossible from them. It was a huge moral blow for us, and strategically, we knew we needed to get that, and we were right strategically. But I think there were, like you said, Byrne, there were a lot of which this is the part I really liked because it was exactly what I was looking for role play wise. I wanted people to be attached to their divisions. I wanted to be in that situation where one won't get support, one will, rather than just making all that decision for them. But I do know that, and I think I told you this, I marked us pulling out of the north of Nijmegen as probably a mistake on my part for giving the okay, because having any part of the north, whether there was a panzer division or not, to buy 30 corps more time was probably more valuable than any support we sent up north. Maybe not. I could be dead wrong, but
Are you talking about the assault on the objective B at Nijmegen, the one that we finally took at night?
You took it, and then we pulled you out.
Yeah, the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have told you to stay there, but like I said, I could have been dead wrong. You could have been annihilated by what was there.
Arnhem had like 400
that's
people left.
That's right.
That's why we pulled them into there
Yep.
and into drill, is just because maybe we could hold the north side of Arnhem, but we will probably lose Arnhem. We ended up losing Arnhem anyway, but the 1st Airborne Division gave us the manpower to at least try to hold on.
Yeah, actually, while we're talking about that, if you don't mind, Dio, I'd love to ask Weiss, what was your greatest mistake you think strategically during the campaign?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that to me?
Yeah, that was for you.
Like I said, I didn't have play a key role into the end. I don't think sounds dumb. I don't think there were many blunders, just in the battles themselves. I think we were pretty flawless at the end half when we came back from the break. We didn't make any mistakes. We played every battle pretty well. I think we won the majority of battles. Before that, the Grav battle was just a fucking catastrophe. That we just didn't look into the rules enough about the fuel, and we screwed ourselves. The Grav battle was it. That's the only thing that sticks out in my mind, to be honest.
Gotcha.
The bigger macro stuff, I really didn't get involved in, so unfortunately, I can't really speak to that.
Yeah.
We just kind of showed up, it sounded like you guys had a much better system than we did, at least much more realistic system. It's weird. The Axis units, the more European-based units, I think we trend more role play-ish. We look into historical accuracy a bit more than the Allied units, I'd say, just a little bit. Don't go crazy with that. Don't take and run with that. But
Ooh, it's on tape. It's on film.
How
We got the VOD. It's
dare
over.
you.
Them are
Get
fighting
'em!
words.
Just a little bit, I think. But you guys, it's weird. We just showed up kind of like, all right, what do you guys want to do? Okay, I'll move these guys here. We'll do that. Great. Took us like 45 minutes, But you guys went, it was the opposite for you guys, which you'd think it'd be the opposite for us, seeing as we're all, Variboos, whatever you want
Right.
to call us, whatever. But so, whatever the kids say. So, yeah, I don't know. That just I wish our side was like that. That sounds really fun, to be honest.
It was worth every hour.
I mean, Burn knows. Burn, what do you think about the two meeting, like the command meetings? How was ours compared to theirs? Yeah, so big difference there. But Sarge, aside from that, I can't remember. It was so much time has passed now. It
I
was a year and
know.
a
I'm
half.
trying to look
Crazy.
back too.
We'll have to get that answer from the other guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do have to say, I had been waiting for this day a long time, just to sit down and talk about both ends of the spectrum. This is really great. That
The
we got
reveal.
this.
Did you notice the allies were doing that more than the Axis, or vice versa, or what? Or was it even? Yeah.
Hold on, hold on. As somebody who's casted a couple of these, I know what you're saying 100%. Where like one or two guys will stop a whole advance because like go attack whatever, you know? There's the other side of it too, where I've seen the SS guys do this a lot too, where they're like, "Fuck yeah!" and they'll just push hard into like certain death. But then now that I'm playing on Operation 44 as as a player, like I get it, bro. It's fucking hard knowing that you're gonna like die right now, and you're gonna have to wait 15 minutes or whatever, and you're gonna ruin it for your guys. You're worried. You're nervous. It's crazy. Yeah, for sure.
Were you watching Nijmegen or Arnhem today? I want it stated for the record. We claimed the moral victory. We had a Jeep get to the objective. We took that flagpole with the Jeep.
Nice.
Flagpole is ours. No, that was a Hail Mary play. We just didn't have enough
They
respawn
caught
waves.
people
I
on the
think.
bridge. It scared me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was kind of the goal. We had people trying to go south and a large flanking force that was trying to go north. I kind of wanted people to just run down the main road onto the bridge, even if it might be crazy or suicidal. But I kind of doubted myself because I was like, that is the suicidal play. So it ended up that most of the Jeeps went into the city right in front of a Panther, and that didn't work out. And it was actually my Jeep, the MSP Jeep that we took on the last respawn wave, that actually made it to the objective free and clear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
that
was.
was it was
got
a
hairy.
Crescent, watching that go by was an amazing experience because I made it to the bridge and then I got blown up.
Mhm.
Was there a streamer of this battle?
Not
Today?
uh,
Not
Not-
the
God damn it.
Not quite
Anyways.
as epic sounding as that, but we did bayonet charge a king tiger from the front. Does that
Outstanding.
Is that at the end there?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, you crazy, crazy bad. And then one actually made it almost all the way.
I think one of our guys did make it almost the whole way, and then I accidentally blew them up with a firefly. But you know,
oops.
As one does.
Oh dear.
Before I head out, I wanted to say a couple things, if you guys don't mind. I want to thank you guys for letting me cast these things. There's something I want to say that fuck man, it seems like my whole life I've been waiting for a game like this to come out. I don't know if you guys have heard of World War II Online. Basically, and a couple of you guys have heard me say this. A game where you're playing a simulated battle where you're like immersed into the content and your actions have consequences. And I have to thank you guys for putting this together. And I know how much hard work went into doing it. There's insane amounts of detail that none of us ever see, let alone the second game that the leadership team is playing here on the tabletop simulator. You're playing a different game up here that leads to us enjoying our moments down on the battlefield. So I wanted to thank all of you guys. And then I also wanted to thank everybody who invited me to cast these things. It's been an absolute fucking pleasure watching you guys fight these fights, and I'm really excited about how Operation 44 is going, and I'm looking forward to seeing that one also get to some sort of an interesting end. Yeah, for sure.
Vern, no one else could have done what you did with this campaign. Not to blow you or anything, but it's the truth. No one. This has never been done before online. I'm not just talk grandiose or anything, but like aside from like armor and stuff, which is a little bit different, there's nothing been like this been put together ever before. So I think it's amazing, dude. I don't think Op 44 sounds great. I'm not really involved. Edelweiss is my unit who runs it. I'll be getting more involved soon. Now this is over, but this is amazing, man. So thank you. Great. Great. Absolutely.
You're glad it's over.
Cliffhanger. Jesus.
Thank you, Burn. Everyone say thank
Cheers,
you,
bro.
Burn.
Thank you,
Thank
Bert.
you,
What
Vern,
a
and
man
the
you
other
are.
admins
Good
as
work.
well.
Thank you,
Really
Burn.
good work,
Much
everyone.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Burn.
People.
in big dips in Postscriptum's like population, we were, I would say at times, like half or more of the population on at a given moment was, Operation Market Garden matches.
I'm sure Bryce is pulling up his activity map and only looking at Sundays. He's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This game is alive and well.
Exactly.
No, but there's like, I'm sure, crazy challenges you're going through and just administering everything. But then there's also the bullshit that comes at you from the game itself, the updates, the fucking, and to finish it, I have to congratulate you, dude. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of stuff like these big projects like this, there's often a lot of like people getting together and getting really excited, and then just the excitement fizzles out and then it just kind of gets abandoned. So it is absolutely worth being proud of that, both for you, Burn, as well as the other people that worked on it and the admins, but the players here as well, that it took us like a year and a half to get here, which is a long time and too long for, I would say, most people. It's kind of how they feel about it, but at the same time, like, we did this, and I think that's a worthy point of pride.
It's
Right on.
insane to be able to keep your campaign going through an engine upgrade and the armor overall. It's not that I can't imagine, it's that I can't imagine how terrible it
How
would be.
horrible, yeah.
Weiss, I have a cigar and a drink waiting for you after this meeting.
All right, man. That sounds
Nice.
good.
And you know what? I'm gonna join you
We'll
on
chat.
that one.
We'll chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys have a good night. I'm out of here. Thank you again to everybody. It's a fucking blast. I'll be carrying the trophy in my Discord profile.
Wow.
Nice. I can't wait to see this.
You guys can kiss the trophy, all right?
Sounds great.
Good night. I'll see you.
See ya. I'm actually gonna have to be taking off soon as well. So if there was anything else you wanted to cover, Burn, on the stream, please let me know. All right, cool. All right. Well,
I think there's, I don't know if this was by admins or if this was by the command staff of the Allied side, but I think we're supposed to have an awards ceremony at some point, because we
Yes.
had
A lot of commendations.
a lot of commendations to go over. So I don't know if that was something the admins encouraged or if that's just something allies are gonna have at some point to recognize people.
yeah, that would be amazing.
Right? That's it for
Yeah,
me.
that sounds wicked.
Let me know if you guys end up doing that. I would love to find out more about it.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
Well,
Well,
thank
thanks
you,
again.
Dio.
Cheers, well, thanks.
It's my
Thanks,
absolute
everyone.
pleasure. Have a great rest of the weekend. I'll see you guys in Op 44.
Cheers.
All the best. Take it
See
easy.
you.
Good luck to both sides.